So some of you might be wondering how I lost so much money in my account. There is really one key action I did that really cost me most of my account over the years. Uh, and it comes down to a couple of underlyings. I remember first one was Bed Bath and Beyond BBBY. Uh, then I think I lost some in Tesla. Then there was Baidu, maybe Baba. PayPal was a painful one. But the one key thing I did was the main one was purchasing calls, believe it or not. And then they'd expire worthless. I would purchase leap calls thinking that, cause the reason I kind of suckered myself into it because the first time I started experimenting with options, I would just buy, like I think most people, their first experience with stock options is to actually buy long calls and wait for them to go up, just like Nancy Pelosi. Uh, but I had a good experience with, I think it was Norwegian Cruise Lines one time when I first started, where I made like $40,000 for buying 20 of them, and then it's printed up for in the next couple weeks. So I was like, wow, this is the way to do it. And I don't remember what year this was. Maybe like back here. It doesn't really matter. There's something I want to go over this chart. This is my chart for my balance for my account. As you can see, my highest point was at I was at 138,000 in November 21, and then I crashed alongside the market right here where I'm at today. But Norwegian Cruise Line was a good experience for me, and then I went on to buy Bed Bath and Beyond when it was on a downturn, and it would just keep grinding lower and lower. And my first big loss was with Bed Bath and Beyond because I had like 50 or 100 calls that expired worthless, and they were worth about $50,000, I think, or so. And they were leap options. So I sat calmly for a year or 2 years waiting on that thing to go back up, and never did. And I continuously try to average down, and when I was close to break even, I would just sit on my hands and wait for it to not only recompensate me for what I've been losing, but I wanted to make a profit on it, obviously. So that was my first one. And then let's see, let's move forward. I know I did some stuff. Then I started getting crafty with selling puts and calls, and I was always smart enough to have it all covered at least. But I was not looking at my max risk. I think your portfolio risk should be, any position should not be more than 5% of your whole account as far as like your position and sizing. I didn't pay any attention to that. To be honest, I still kind of don't, but I have a small account now, so I have to, and I hope I will going forward. Uh, I think that my next one was with Tesla, and right before it like shot up 2 years ago, I was always on the wrong side of Tesla, and I figured I'm gonna obsess over this guy, and it's gonna make me money. And all I know about Tesla, and I can tell you, is I could have bought a Tesla. It would have cost me less to buy a Tesla, an actual car, than to trade money and lose. I lost more in Tesla than I made than I would have if I bought a car from Tesla. So that's Tesla for you. I think I remember one earnings day, it was I had like 20 call spreads shorted, and maybe 10 put spreads shorted, and it went significantly down, but it didn't touch my call my put spreads or something. But there was a lot of extrinsic value in there because of it was what did it have, high IB rank because of the earnings call. And I got what's it called, volatility crushed or something like that, where the extrinsic just evaporated out of it. And I was thinking, oh, before the market opened, that, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money, because actually I rather have the 20 short spread successful and the 10 not successful, that's going to outweigh the loss. But nope, that didn't work either. I also lost a lot in Baba and Baidu, and PayPal was the big one for me last year. That's the one that took down this entire account for me because, like I mentioned in my last episode of the last episode of the whole 10 Iron Condor series, I had a lot of calls in there, and as we all know, we're in a very bear market right now. So that's why my chart looks like it is. I can also show this to just review. Here is Baba. Looks. I wish I knew how far back this goes. But oh, this is actually. We can't really dwell into this because it cancels out. These aren't. Here's a good one for PayPal though, 39,000 in the hole, and I don't have a short spread to counter this, so that's definitely legit. So that's how the main thing that really cost my account all these losses was ironically it was the long calls I bought. Even though I did have significant losses with the short spreads, the long calls seem to have done the most damage.